Okay, fourth graders. Yesterday you watched a video on Mashup Math that showed you about the area model, and you practiced doing one problem yesterday. Your work was focused around 53 times 24, and the answer key was published today in the Google Classroom for you to look and see how you did. You have one more problem like that to do today on SAB page 444. And I'm going to give you another example of how you would break apart a double digit times double digit number into 4 equations. And then you would also break that area model or that array, unmarked array, into 4 sections to go with each of the 4 equations. So we have the problem 63 times 27. And I labeled the longer side of my rectangle 63 and the side that had a little bit of a shorter width 27. So there's my 2 labels for my array sides. Now, I'm going to be breaking apart these numbers by place value. So I'm going to turn 63 into 60 and 3 and 27 into 20 and 7. In order to do that in an array like this, that means this line here that is represented by the number 63 is going to be broken into 2 parts. I'm going to have one section of the line that represents 60 and another section of the line that represents 3. So it'll look like this. If I take my cursor over here and find my straight line, I'm going to just have a small section be 3 because 3 is a small number, and I'm going to draw a line going down here. Okay. Whoops. That's good. There's my line. Okay, so now I'm going to take my text box here and put a little new label in, and I'm going to have part of the line be 60, and I'm going to take this guy and bring it over here because this part of the line is now 60, and then this part of the line up here, this tiny little section here, is going to be 3. So let's do another text box and put the 3 in. And then I'll bring that guy down and label that part of it 3. Okay, so now we have 60 and 3, and we know that 60 and 3 together make the 63. This part of the line is 60. This little piece of the line over here is 3. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the 27. I'm going to break the 27 into 20 and 7. So I'm going to do it again. Now 20, and then 7's a little bit bigger. So I'm going to try to just have it be a little bit bigger than I made the 3. I'm going to come up a little bit more. I'm going to draw my line going across. Awesome. So now I have this part of the line is 20, and this bottom piece, this little bottom piece here, is 7. So I'm going to put in my text box to represent that. So I have 20. Bring the 20 down, and I'm going to put it right here. And then one more text box I'm going to put in for 7. Okay, so I'll bring the 7 down and put it right there. Okay, so now I've broken my array into 4 sections. I have a section here, I have a section here, I have this little section here, and I have a long skinny rectangle down here. Each of those smaller rectangles have dimensions. So this is 7, this side of this is 7, and then this part right here is the same as this part up here. So I know that if this is 60, then this part is 60. Same ways, likewise, if this line here is 20, then I know that this line here is 20. And if this line is 3, then this little red line is 3. And if this line is 7, then I know this line is also 7. So you could label each of your smaller array dimensions, or you can just use the ones that are there to remind you of what they are. All right, so now it's time to write my 4 equations. So my first equation is going to be the 60. I'm going to take the 60, and I'm going to multiply it by the 20. So I'm going to say 60 times 20. So this is going to be 60. Oops, I want that to be bigger. I'm going to have this be 60 times 20, and that equals 1,200. And then the next equation I'm going to write, so in here, I'm going to take a text box and I'm going to put it right in here. Whoops. And I'm going to say 60. Oops. I can use the text box that's there, I guess. I'm going to say 60 times 20 equals 1200. Okay. And so my next equation then, I'm going to do 60. I already multiplied it by the 20. Now I'm going to multiply it by the 7. Now this isn't 6 times 7 because the 6 is sitting in the tens place. So this is 60 times 7. So that's going to be my next equation. Let's say 60 times 7 equals, and 60 times 7 equals 420. Because I know 6 times 7 is 42. I'm going to move this guy over a little bit so that the place values are better lined up. All right, so now I'm going to come over to this array and I'm going to find the rectangle that shows me 60 times 7. So that's going to be down here because this part of this array, this rectangle is 60, and I see that this is 7. So inside of this little guy, I'm going to put 60 times 7 equals 420. All right, awesome. All right, now I have taken care of multiplying the 60 times the 20 and the 60 times the 7. Now it's time to go to the ones place and multiply the 3 times the 20 and the 3 times the 7. So let's start with the 3 times the 20. And I'm going to do 3 times 20 equals, and 3 times 20 equals 60. And let's find the area where the section of this picture, this array model, that would be 3 times 20. So I see this dimension of 3, and then I know that this dimension is 20. So I know this part is 20. So this rectangle here is going to be 3 times 20. 3 times 20 equals 60. It's not really going to fit in there, so I'm going to pull it down and put it kind of right there so I know that it belongs there. All right, so I have one equation left to do and one square to fill in. So I did my 60 times my 20 and my 60 times my 7, and I did my 3 times my 20. All that's left is the ones place, 3 times 7. So I'm going to write my equation, and I'm going to do 3 times 7. And 3 times 7 is one of our basic facts. And 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to put my my equation near my the section of my array that represents that multiplication problem. So 3 times 7 equals 21. And I'm going to bring that guy, oops, and I'm going to bring that guy down here. And now I have a multiplication equation for each of the rectangles that I broke this bigger rectangle up into. So it would make sense to me if this part of this is 1200 and this part is 60 and this part is 420 and this little section here is 21, then if I add all of these products together, I'm going to get the answer to the multiplication problem 63 times 27, which would also be the area of this array. So if I add 1200 plus 420 plus 60 plus 21, I get 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus 2 plus 6 plus 2 is 10. So I need my cursor back on my writing. So this is going to be a 0. Oh, and I'm going to bring my 1 up here. And then I have 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. And then I'm going to bring my 1 from my thousands place down. And so my answer is 1,701. And I'm going to fix that 0 because it looks kind of ridiculous. Now I'm going to try again. I might, and just kind of see if I can control this to make it look more like a 0. Perfect. Okay, so by adding up the product of each of the separate equations, I have come up with the answer to 63 times 27. 63 times 27 is 1,701. And so let's go ahead and put that final equation in there. 63 times 27 equals 1,701. And that, my friends, is how you compute a double digit times a double digit number by breaking it into 4 equations by place and putting each of the equations on the area model. So today, your job is to work on SAB page 444. You're going to be writing a story problem, and you're going to be computing a double digit times double digit equation, complete, I hope, with an array. So you can draw yourself an unmarked array, and you can watch this video as you're doing it if it will help you solve the problem. Until next time, my friends, have a wonderful day.